How to book preferred hotels with points. Preferred Hotels is a collection of sort of boutique-like hotel properties. Some of them look really awesome, and exciting for our audience is that many of them can be booked for a great deal using points. You can use I Preferred points to book them, and that's exciting because Citi ThankYou points transfer 1 to 4 to I Prefer, the loyalty program of preferred hotels and rewards. And so that can present some opportunities for great value. Interestingly, some preferred hotels and resorts can also be booked with choice privileges, which is also a Citi ThankYou transfer partner 1 to 2. And those two programs, choice privileges and I Prefer, also partner with some of the other credit card transfer partner programs. So there are some other opportunities to amass points in those programs as well. So there are opportunities for great value, but A, figuring out how you can book these hotels, and B, figuring out where they are can be a challenge. And it's not always easy, but you've done a lot of work on this to make it far easier.
Yeah. It's a real problem because if you have even if you have city points that transfer in a good way to choice and to preferred hotels, the particular hotels you might want to book might be bookable only through choice or only through I prefer, but not both. But sometimes they are available through both, but it's not necessarily going to be easy to figure out which one's the better deal for you. And so we built some tools to help make that easy. Your first stop when you're interested in booking a preferred hotel is our guide to booking preferred hotels with points. And in there, we go over all the details that you might want to know, as well as answer a lot of questions that you might have. But what I'm going to do is show you specifically some of the tools we have in here. So I'm going to jump down to the section called How to Find Hotels Across Both Programs. And first, there's the do-it-yourself section where if you're willing to go through the I Prefer website and the Choice website to try to find them, you'll want to use those links. But we have easier options for you. And the easiest of all is this interactive map. So let me scroll down to that, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I just zoomed out on the map to make it bigger. And you could see that it's basically a Google map with a bunch of icons showing where all the preferred hotels are. And you can scroll all around the world to see where they are.
I find this really useful, by the way, because when I'm trip planning, sometimes I'm planning on visiting a particular area, but I just don't know where there might be a preferred hotel nearby. When it comes to the French Riviera, I don't know every little town, and I don't know where every little, preferred hotel might be. So I find this map super useful for like scrolling in an area, and I don't know if there's anything on the French Riviera, to be clear, but I just brought it up. It's like,
Right.
the Amalfi Coast, whatever it might be. There are places where I won't know all the little towns to search. So even just trying to do a search is much easier with the map tool, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the big reasons we put this together. You could see, like, if you're interested in going to Nice, there's a single preferred hotel shown there. And it's got this like square, this black circle with a white square. And you could look over to the left to see what that means. These are cents per point ranges. And it means that you are probably going to get between 1 to 1.5 cents per point value with your city points. So that means even if you're transferring at those really good transfer ratios from city to preferred hotels or choice, this is not going to be a great value because you could do better than that. You could do much better. What you ideally want to look for are the orange circles with a check mark in them, or even better, the hearts, the blue circles with the white heart inside. Those are the ones where you're most likely to get the best value for your points. The ones with the white square, those aren't terrible, but it's just not great. And then where you see a little fish, a little purple circle with the fish, that means we don't have data. It's your fishing, because we don't have data about how much the hotel normally costs. And so we don't know how good the value is for booking with points for those hotels. Let me go back to the US here. Whoops. And let's say you're interested in staying somewhere near in the San Francisco Bay Area. So you zoom in there and you can see there's quite a few hotels. And you can see at a glance that there's like this one up near Sonoma that probably isn't going to be great value, but further up north there's one that looks like great value. And then as we get closer to San Francisco, we see a couple that are either decent value with the check mark or great value potential with the heart. So let me click on that, and we see that's the Cavallo Point, which I've stayed at, and I love that hotel. It's a beautiful, beautiful setting near Sausalito, and what you can see on the left here is that it shows how many I prefer points are needed to book it, but it also shows how many choice points. So you'll only see both of those point options on hotels that are bookable through both options. Like not all are, but in this case, it's bookable through both. And so what you'll also see is the map will tell you which one is the better value. The better value is to transfer to I prefer. Now, again, this is assuming you're doing city points, which transfer 1 to 4 to I prefer. And then if you do it that way, you'll need only 25,000 city points. And based on an average cash value of $790 per night, that's giving you a city cents per point value of 3.16 cents per point, which is fantastic. And that's why this got that heart as for the icon. Going into San Francisco itself, what we see is the Hotel Nico, which is available for 50,000 I prefer points or 29,000 choice points. And the median cash cost is $217. And again, I prefer is the better transfer option there. And usually when both point systems are available, usually I prefer is the better deal. Again, because city transfers 1 to 4 to I prefer versus 1 to 2 to choice. And you can see you get like decent but not spectacular cents per point value based on the average rate there. We've got another hotel, the Clement Palo Alto. So if you want to go down to Palo Alto, this one's a very expensive hotel, nearly $3,000 a night. I've looked at it; it's like all inclusive. Looks like it's very swank. And again, this one you can book only through I prefer, not through choice. It looks like, and when you do that, you can get very good value. I mean, extraordinary value from your city points if you have enough city points to book that.
And when you think
So,
about it from a comparison point perspective, at 37,500 city points, I mean, that's roughly equivalent to what you'd use in terms of maybe Chase Ultimate Rewards points to book a Hyatt that's at a higher level, right? That'd be like a category 6 or category 7 Hyatt, depending on peak, off peak, et
yeah.
cetera. And a pretty comparable looking hotel to what you might find in category 6 or 7, or maybe even significantly better. I don't know this particular property,
In
but
this case, I think it would easily be a Category 8 Hyatt if Hyatt had it
Mhm.
in its catalog. So yeah, so in this case, you're getting better value than Hyatt, and we're mentioning Hyatt because Hyatt often has great value for its points. All right, so let's go back to the Cavallo Point one, and let's say you're ready now. You say, oh, this is great. I want to book this. I've got city points. And you want to stay, let's say, 3 nights, should you go ahead and transfer 25,000 times 3, 75,000 city points to I prefer to book this? What do you think, Nick? Should you do that right away?
Well, I'm going to guess that you've set me up for a no there. But
No.
the reason I'm assuming a no is because I prefer is sometimes a little challenging. And I'm thinking you might want to double check the I prefer website.
See, that's the thing. So our data is not updated, by the minute or even by the day necessarily, and so it may be out of date. But even more importantly, the dates you want to stay there might not be available to book with points, and that's the most significant issue. It may end up being that using choice points, it would require more city points, but it may be that choice will have better availability than I prefer. And I've seen that actually pretty often, which is really
That seems
weird. And
strange,
it
right?
does seem strange, but overall, actually, there are a lot more properties available to book through choice than through preferred hotels, which is all right. So now you've found that hotel, Cavallo Point, and you want to book it. So go back up to the do-it-yourself section and search for awards here. It says. So we'll go there. Now what we're going to do is find that hotel. When you first click in, be patient. It takes quite a while for the I Prefer website to load up all the available hotels. I think it's done now. So now I'm going to refine the area and let's let's limit to California and see if we can find. There it is, Cavallo Point, 100,000 points. Which again, that's because of the 1-to-4 transfer ratio from Citi. That's 25,000 Citi points per night. Click on View Rates to see if nights you're interested in are actually available. So you can see that some dates are blocked out, but other dates show the 100,000 points. So let's assume you want to go in May. Okay, so May, let's say May 8th to the 10th is your weekend that you're interested in. And you do have to click it because even though it shows it in the calendar, there's sometimes where you click the dates and it then says those dates aren't available. So we've clicked the dates. Now I want you to, if you're doing this, go ahead and click continue. Even though you don't necessarily have the points yet in your I Prefer account because you haven't transferred from Citi yet, it's important to do that because this will show whether it's a room is really bookable with points. So you could see the first thing that showed up is like one where it's cash endpoints. But if you scroll down, you see, okay, I can actually book this room with points. So now I feel comfortable saying, okay, I will transfer my Citi points now to I Prefer and do this exercise again to bring this up once I'm logged into my account and have the points. And this is kind of interesting. You could see there's multiple room types available with points here. There's a historic queen and historic king. If you switch just to cash rates, so uncheck that, there'll probably be more room types that are available to book. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, like contemporary king, contemporary. So anyway, so you could see that there are rooms that you can't book with all points. But there are two room types that you could book with just points. So that's
Quick
good.
question. When you had the points on, the points box checked, it said includes some amount in fees. So does that mean you pay the fees in addition to the points, or the points rate includes the fees? Like you'll see here, it says 100,000 points includes $72 in fees. Does that mean you have to pay an additional 72, or the 100,000 points includes the fees?
What normally happens, yeah, is that if there's a resort fee, that's something you pay at the hotel and is not included in the points. But most of these other ones are probably included. But honestly, I'm not sure. It could be that you have to pay them on top of the points rate. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just curious how it would show up. It looks like you do have to pay those fees according to the way it shows up because it shows the points and the cash. So I'm glad to see that when you select it, you can see a breakdown of what might be due.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to the calendar, this again is the I Prefer points rates. Suppose you wanted to stay the weekend of May 15th and all the way to the 18th, and you could see that the room's not available on the night of the 17th. It's possible you can still book that weekend through choice points rather than I Prefer points. Now, to be clear, I don't know that. I didn't do the research ahead of time, but I want to show you how to find out. So let's go back to the guide to booking preferred hotels. And now we're going to click on choice privileges here. Booking preferred hotels with choice points is different than booking choice hotels with choice points. So you have to go to a special page within the choice website for booking preferred hotels and resorts. And that's what our guide linked to here is this special page. You have to sign in to your choice account in order to start booking. So I'll do that now. We didn't show me logging in, but I did. And you could see that the button changed to start booking. So now I'm going to click start booking. Okay, I've clicked through from the special link to the choice privileges page for booking preferred hotels. And now, just like we did before, I'm going to uh, find the state to California and try to find Cavallo Point. Here it is. And so now what you would do is the exact same thing that I did before. You click view rates, look at the calendar, see if it's available, and not only see if it's available, but click those dates that you want to stay. Make sure it stays available after you've clicked them. Click in to see that the rooms are actually available. Then you can move your points to, in this case, to choice privileges to book the room. All right, finally, you may be interested in going back to our guide and looking not just at the interactive map, but we also have a searchable table. So if there are things that you're interested in that you want to be able to, you'd rather look at it through a filterable table, searchable table than through the map, then you can do that here. So, for example, maybe you're looking for a specific city or town, like let's say Naples. Let's see if there's anything there. Boom. You could see some options there.
Yeah, and that's helpful again to tell you which properties might be available, but you're still going to need to go back and do the searching to see if it's available for the dates that you want before you start transferring points.
Definitely.